Okay, so today we're going to talk about sickle scalers. I have two sickle scalers with me. I have an H6, H7 sickle scaler, which is used on anterior teeth only. And I also have a Nevi 4 posterior sickle scaler. This is used on posterior teeth. Generally, the rule is posterior teeth instruments can be used on anterior teeth, but anterior instruments, scalers especially, are not to be used on posterior teeth. So anterior teeth and posterior teeth. I'm going to describe the instrument. Well, in general, sickle scalers by definition are a supragingival instrument only. These are both double-ended paired instruments, which means one working end for surfaces towards, the opposite working end for surfaces away. All sickle scalers, their working ends are triangular point. It is a pointed tip. It has a triangular in cross section. The face is 90 degrees to the terminal shank. It has two lateral sides. It has two cutting edges per working end, and you can use all cutting edges, which means it has 4 cutting edges per instrument. The H6, H7 is a simple shank instrument. It does have a little bit of a slant. This is a Hugh Freedy H6, H7. And what they've done is they've bent the shank slightly at an angle. And so you can choose to utilize one cutting edge with this instrument. And typically if it's slanting to the left, then you would use that cutting edge of the opposite of the slant. It's going to help you lean against that tooth. However, you can choose to use both cutting edges, and I'll show you that in the technique. The Nevi 4 posterior sickle scaler has a complex shank. It's got a curve to it. And it's really hard to distinguish functional shank from terminal shank with these instruments. But if we were to go by definition of the first curve and cover the working end, all of that is the functional shank. And the terminal shank would be that little short part right here between my fingernails. But it's really hard to distinguish. And if I didn't mention it, they're triangular in cross section. These are ideal for getting up underneath the contacts where it is a triangular shape.